Hello fellow travelers, my name's SG and welcome to the channel. Today we'll be continuing with Dante's Inferno. I'm going with Canto 7. So last time we were here, we went through Greed. There he met a couple of traveling spirits, also known as politicians. And he kind of predicted the future of what was going to happen to the country after a while. And they left in pretty much sorrow. Now they're going on to talk about the great evil, Politus. So, let's get started, shall we? Papa Satan, Alepe. Thus Platus with his clucking voice began, and the benignant sage, who all things knew, said to encourage me, Let not thy fear harm thee, for any power that he may have shall not prevent thy going down his crag. Then he turned around, and unto that bloated lip, and said, Be silent, thou cursed wolf, consume within thyself, and with thine own rage. Not causeless in this journey to the abyss, thus is the willed on high, where Michael wrought vengeance upon the proud adultery. Even as the sail inflated by the wind involved together fell, then snaps the mast, so fell the cruel monster to the earth. Thus we descended into the fourth chasm, gaining still farther on the Dowslam shore, which all the woe of the universe which all the woe of the universe ensacks. Justice of God, who weep up so many new toils and suffering as I beheld, and why doth our transgression waste us so? As doth the billow there upon Chartless, that breaks itself on that which it encounters, so here the folks must dance their roundelay. Here saw I people, more than elsewhere, many on the one side and the other, great howls rolling ways forward by many force of chest. They clashed together, and then at that point each one turned backwards, rolling retrograde, crying, Why keepest, and why squanderest thou? Thus they returned along the lurid circle, on either hand unto the opposite point, shouting their shameful martyr evermore. Then each, when he arrived there, wheeled about through his half-circle to another joust. And I, who had my heart pierced as it were, exclaimed, My master, now declare to me what people these are, and if all were clerics, these shaven crowns upon the left of us. And he to me, all of them were asquint in intelligence in the first life, so which that there was measured they no spending made. Clearly enough their voices bark it forth, whenever they reach the 2 point of the circle, where sunders them the opposite effect. Clerks those were who no hairy covering have on the head, and popes and cardinals in whom doth avarice practices his excess. And I, my master, among such as these, I ought forsooth to recognize some few, who were infected with these maladies. And he to me, Vain thought thou entertainest, the undiscerning life which made them sordid, now make them unto all discerning dim. Forever shall they come to these two buddings, these from the spectrum shall rise again, with the fist closed, and these with tresses shorn. Ill giving and ill keeping, the fair world have taken from them, and placed them in this scuffle. Whatever it be, no words adorn I for it. Now cast thou, son, behold the transient farce of goods that are committed unto fortune, for which the human race each offer buffet. For all the gold that is beneath the moon, or even has been, of these weary souls, could never make a single one repose. Master, I said to him, now tell me also what is this fortune which thou speakst of, that the world's goods so within its clutches. And he to me, O creature imbecile, what ignorance is this which doth best you? Now will I have thee learn my judgment of her. He whose omniscience everything transcends, the heavens created and gave who should guide them, that every part to every part may shine, disputing the light in equal measure. He is like manner to the mundane splendorous, ordained a general ministress and guide, that she might change at times the empty treasures from race to race, from one blood to another, beyond resistance of all human wisdom. Therefore, when people triumphs and another languishes, in pursuance of her judgment, which hidden is as in the grass of serpent, your knowledge has no counterstand against her. She makes provision, judge, and pursues her governance, as there's the other gods. Her permutations have not any truce. Necessity makes her precipitate. So often cometh who this turn obtains, and this is she who is crucified, even by those who ought to give her praise, giving her blame amiss and bad repute. But she is blissful, and she hears it not. Among the other primal creatures gladsome, she turns her sphere, and blissfully she rejoices. Let us descend on now unto greater woe. Already sinks each star that was descending, when I set out, and loitering is forbidden. We cross the circle to the other bank, near to the font that boils and pours itself among a gully that runs out of it. The water has more sombre far than per se, and we, in company with this dusky waves, made entrance downward by a path uncouth. A marsh it makes, which has the name of the Styx, that tristful brooklet, when it was descended down to the foot of the magni grey shores. And I, who stood intent upon beholding, saw people amid besipent in that lagoon, all of them naked, and with angry look. They smote each other, not alone with hands, but with the head, and with the breasts and feet, bearing each other pierced meal with their teeth. Said the good master, Son, thou now beholdest the soul of those who anger overcame. And likewise I would have thee know for certain, beneath the water people who sigh, and make this water bubble at the surface, as the eye turns thee, wheresoever it turns. Fixed is the mire, they say, we sullen were in the sweetest air, which by the sun is gladdened, bearing within ourselves the sluggish reek. Now we are sullen in this sable mire. They him do they keep gurgling in their throats, for with unbroken words they cannot say it. Thus we went circling around the filthy fen, a great arc twixt the dry bank and the swamp, with eyes turned on to those who gorged the mire. On to the foot of the tower we came at last. Alright, now that we've read it, how about we talk about this chapter, shall we? Now, this is talking about the avarice part of hell. One of the lower levels compared to the last one. In this one, you have those who have a high pride or a high opinion of themselves. You can see a varying amount of people in this one. The first one Dante really notes are cardinals, bishops, and popes. These are holy men and even monks. These are all holy men that have pretty much let the power go to their head. They have let go of their religion and really have become more about themselves as time has gone on. We then go further into this circle, and there we find the river Styx. There we see people who have absorbed themselves in hate and anger, and with that we see that they are forever destined to be drowning in a muddy water, or he calls it a marsh, where the newer ones are on top, but if you go deeper in the water there are more beneath it, still fighting and still clawing at each other, for no odd reason, because they're pretty much already gone at this point. There are no hope for them. Even if they can try to sing a prayer, they can't because of the water. And then we get this idea that Dante asks, what is to want? What is the overall goal for humanity? And Virgil just says, it's always changing. There is no goal specifically, so there's no real point in trying to gain it, because it's always different for everybody. And in every era, there really is no point in trying to claim it, because in the end, it doesn't really equate to anything except to God. And we know how that goes, don't we? Well, I hope you enjoyed this chapter. I hope you found it interesting. I will be back next time with Canto 8. We will be continuing it till we at least finish Dante's Inferno. And yeah, please leave a like, subscribe down below. And if you want, please leave a comment. I hope you enjoyed it, and can't wait to see you again next time.